You know what? I said, let me go ahead and give the people what they want. I see what y'all like now, man. I see it in the metrics and the analytics. Yeah, y'all like that old school. Y'all like that Google and Premiere. Y'all like that Jazz Mataz. You know what I mean? Y'all like that Robin Hood Theory type of music. That Mob Deep first, second, third album. That Nas first and second and third album. Y'all like all of that woo. Y'all like all of that kind of stuff. I see where y'all at with it. Because at first I was like, let me stay relevant. Let me kick that. Keep it in the pocket with today's music and, keep it on the tempo and everything like that. But I see, man, y'all like the kind of hip hop from the era that I come out of. And I'm like, man, I could do that all day. So I'm gonna go ahead and make a sequel to the Wisdom Boss papers on them real quick. Because that was the one of the aliases that I was under back in the early 90s, like that, early to mid 90s in rap. Back when I was a little guy doing it, a youngster, you know what I mean? So I'm gonna go back in that energy and I'm gonna go in that bag. That's my favorite bag to go in, yo. I just been neglecting that bag for the sake of just keeping up with the time, seeing what's good, respecting the craft, respecting where music has gone and where it's at. And, that kind of thing. Just being a real appreciator of the art. But with that being said, I also want to be responsible to my subscribers and all who view this page, because I see that the demographic is going to the millennials. That's the bulk of who watches my stuff. So yeah, I'll be glad to give y'all exactly what y'all looking for. And thank you for the feedback. Sometimes what's needed is not always communicated verbally. Sometimes you just have to see what's happening in the action. This is what makes the YouTube metrics and YouTube Creator Studio so beautiful for the process, because you could really track everything like a real boss. You can really just do your own audits and all of that. You can look at everything that's happening, and you can see what what needs to be done to take you to the next level. And I didn't even think of it like that. Yeah, it could definitely do that too, but I was just essentially saying, like, well, let me just see what y'all looking for. I don't want to just be throwing stuff out there all the time, because the inspiration is never going to stop. I don't have a choice in that. It's just, that's what the Most High made me, an artistic soul. But what I'll do is I'll bring that 90s energy in there. Sure, that's cool. I'm down with that. I can go in that bag. I like that energy. I like that era. It's my favorite. I was, like a teen during those times, listening to Biggie, listening to Pac, listening to Hove, listening to Lox, listening to Cam, listening to Helter Skelter, listening to the whole Duck Down, listening to Dre, listening to Snoop. You know what I mean? Listening to Scarface, listening to Outkast, 3000, Big Boy, the entire Dungeon family, Goody Mob, the entire Dungeon family. Was listening to Sadat X, listening to Cannabis, was listening to that old Eminem, was listening to that. I was listening to that Ali Vegas. I was listening to that Chi Ali. I was listening to that Lord Finesse. I was listening to that Rakim. I was listening to that Big Daddy Kane. I was listening to that. And so these hip hop energies, I'll be more than glad to bring back to the scene. We don't see it that much as it is. And I think with this modern instrumentation that's included in a lot of our software packs, that era can be resurrected. However, be it a little different, just from the sample factor. So I'm still like wondering. I may not even. I may keep it sample less, even though I know samples was a big part of hip hop at that time. But I'm just curious about some other things too, especially too, just from a very ground level, the monetization aspect of it. could stand to be a lot smoother if I proceed this way and just freehand play all the music, because I was also doing that at the time too, along with the rhymes. So I'll go ahead and bring that back. And hey, not for nothing, but to be Eastern astrologically speaking, I'm 41 in Earth years, but according to April 21st being Aries, if you're starting from the East, I'm 17. That makes me 17. Because the years pass different, time passes different on different planets, because, you know, they're in different proximity to the sun. In astrology, this is critical. Like, for instance, I can't go to every planet, like, on that level. Because on some planets, I'm like a year and 6 months. Some planets, I'm like 3 months old. I'm an infant on planets like Jupiter and all of that. And on a planet like Venus, which was what I was naturally at, I was an old man on Venus. I'm 67, 67 years old on Venus. So, you know, I was a senior citizen, not even knowing it for like the last, oof, you feel me? Like the last 20 years. You know what I mean? The last 20 years, I was 20 years older than I was supposed to be. So now I'm 30 years, not 20 years younger than I would typically be. So astrologically speaking, and knowing all of that, I'm 17. So I'll be, I guess, 17 in terms of the tracks and all of that, and the style, and the era will be coming from the music that I was listening to when I was 17. That Capadonna, that Sons of Man, that Smooth the Hustler, you know what I mean? Brownsville, you know what I mean? Like, I'll bring it back to what I was listening to and how the world was at 17, and bring that energy and see what happens from there. So again, Super T Sigma, thank y'all for the feedback, non-verbally. You know what I mean? Definitely appreciate it. And I peep y'all. I appreciate y'all. And I just want this to be proof of that, along with many other things. But in the meantime, y'all continue to vibrate high. Peace.